Alright, what's up everybody? The first portion of this leg lock defense instructional is we're going to start really macro and we're going to talk about how to defend grips. Okay? When he gets grips going, offensive grips, that's how he can enter into leg lock positions. So we're going to start pretty macro, and later on in the instructional we'll get into how to specifically defend against certain types of guards. The De La Rivas, the reverse De La Rivas, the K guards, the 50-50s, all that stuff, single leg X's, X guard. We're going to get into that later, but first let's start really macro and then go from there. Sound good? Mm-hmm. Okay. So first we'll just talk about grips and how to get the guy to their back. Okay, in this first portion we're going to talk about what type of position we want to have the leg locker in while we're looking to get our passing going, okay? In modern day ADCC rules, it's unfortunate, but you will be the one who's called stalling if you don't actively engage his guard, okay? So we have to, unfortunately, actively engage the guard that they desire to play, okay? So most of the time in modern leg locking entries, they're gonna work from an open guard, and what we wanna do is we wanna get them to their back. So we want to make sure that when they're seated, they're mobile, so they can rotate really well, they can back up really well, they can move forward really well, and it's much more of a mobile guard. They also have the ability to grip not only with their hands, but with their feet very well. So they can use the feet and the hands in tandem. So what we can do is we want to get them to their back, to where their mobility has been severely decreased. We've also limited their ability to grip with their hands significantly because their hands are much farther away and they're not as long as their legs. Okay, so this first portion is going to be all about posture and getting them to their back. Okay, so first let's talk about posture. If you're a wrestler, which a lot of the viewers of this channel are, we want to think about wrestling like a really aggressive kindergartner. Think about like a kindergartner who's a black belt. You would get as low as they are, right? So we want to think about collar ties. That's great. We want to think about good wrist control. That's also good. But all we're trying to do is deny their offensive grips. Okay? We want to make contact before they do. So I want to get to the first thing that we'll show is just double ankles. If they have both feet towards us, all we're gonna do is just reach under, grab the ankles, and it's almost like we're trying to take a tablecloth off of a table and keep all of the silver, the drinkware and stuff there, all the plates there. You kind of have to sweep it out, and that's kind of what we're gonna look to do. We're trying to sweep him out, okay? And to get him to his back. So let's see that one more time. If it's available, not always available, we'll talk about if it's not, but we're just gonna get to the heels and sweep. Okay? Once he's on his back, hands on the shins, feet away. Right? I don't want to be up here where he can get inside position, get to ankles, and sweep us. So that's the first one. One more time. We're low, we're collar tying, we're hand fighting. Collar tie is really huge here because his ability to scoot forward now is really limited. Not to mention, there are times where you could drop into a front headlock here. Sometimes it's not a good idea, sometimes it is, but so we're here. Boom, sweep out, hands on the shins, and then start getting an angle. That's where we're at. Okay? Another way to get them to their back is big collar tie, reach to the ankle, push these two together. He's going to try to react by throwing his head back, and then you just follow into it. Okay? That's a great one. Sometimes when his feet are hidden, it's best to literally just shove. Boom. Blast him, get the hands to the shin, get your outside angle. Okay? So all really good options. Feet, smash the knee and the head together, or just a big shove. So those are all ways to get your opponent to their back. All right, simple ways. Okay? A little bit more of an advanced way is running past and shoving at the same time, and kind of this little pseudo Toriando. I like to do this a lot here because it sets up this overstep like you throw that top leg over, and then I can start passing it. So that's a little bit more of an advanced one, just throwing this one in as a bonus, because it is one that I use a lot. I like pushing, stepping across. He's gonna try to cover, and then I get my duck, swim through. Let's see that one more time from a different angle. Push, cross step, and get outside the legs, push, my head's low, and ready to counter that step through. All right, so you guys have it. That's section one. When you're trying to defend against a butt scooter who's actively trying to get to offensive grips to get to your legs, all you're gonna do is get them to their back, make them less mobile, and then start attacking their guard. Okay, in this next section, we're gonna talk about addressing grips. All right, we do not wanna let our opponent begin to get offensive grips. So when he does get a grip that's unfavorable for you, address it right away. It's really simple, just like hand fighting and wrestling. You've got to address the hand fighting. You've got to address the hand and grips. So if he's a butt scooter or on his back, he's going to be looking to get any grips. It doesn't really matter because we want to keep it pretty macro for the beginning of this instructional. But if he gets a 2-on-1, this is a great connection, right? We've got to be able to deal with that right away, right? So, just address those grips and then get them to their back, okay? If he gets any sort of like shin on shin or something like that, yep, he starts getting that grip. What we're gonna wanna do, get the head placement, stretch back, get him to his back, same idea, okay? It doesn't have to be super fancy, but you just have to address it, okay? If he's maybe on his back and he gets maybe like some sort of grip here going, I mean, think of it as a puzzle piece. He's connected here and he's connected there. Strip and strip, and then get back outside of the legs. All right, hands on the shins, get your angle, okay? So you're just addressing these grips. Anytime he gets something, just deal with it right away. And then continue to get the angle, push him down. All right, you can get a few more grips maybe. Yep, head position. Head position's huge as well, because you want to make sure that underhook's available, especially if you're a knee slicer. But head position, just like wrestling, head position is huge because he's trying to close this space and get really tight. Now it's really hard to address these grips. You want to get them when they're still long. So I can go head position, pull up on this, then start getting my angle. Okay? Now this isn't a passing instructional, so that's about as far as we're going to go in terms of addressing these grips right away, just staying out of some of these entanglements. But this is obviously going to work into all your passing, right? Because the second, you fight his grips, right? And then you get him to his back. You get past the feet, whether you're inside or outside, and then you start working on your passing, right? As long as you're past the feet and he doesn't have inside position, you're not in a leg lockable position, all right? And you can't get swept very well. So make sure that you never have both your feet on the inside of his, you never let him have both his feet on the inside of you, right? Because this is how we can spin into single leg X or sweep and get through there, right? And then pressure on these hips and these shins is really important as well, all right? That doesn't allow him to get up. So outside the feet, one foot in the middle, either on the inside or the outside, or both feet to the other side. In any of those positions, he doesn't have any good entries. Okay? It's only when he gets this inside space occupied, or he's got a specific guard going where he's gonna start working in towards that inside space. Okay, so like for example, if you stand up, even if they're playing like reverse De La Heavy or something like that, this isn't actually anything significant. You would just be, fighting the grips. But what they're working to get to is inside position. See how both my legs are in the inside now? Okay, so, or the same, let's get outside 50-50 just to illustrate the point. If you step through here. Yep, so if they're in here, see, it's just one leg, but this isn't where they're going to end, right? They're going to try to get through here and then get to the inside position with both legs. Okay? So just kind of knowing what their motives are really helps with leg lock defense. Don't let both of their legs ever get in between your legs. Fight the hands, get them to the back, and get an outside angle, okay? Past that, it's just classic good guard passing, right? Getting the positions where you can guard pass and get your game going, okay? So I don't want to be too long-winded on that because we have guard passing instructionals out there that deal with that stuff. If you like what you saw, make sure to subscribe. We're on our way to 5,000 subscribers. Help us out, and also check us out on Patreon.